everybody. Today is Wednesday. We're going to start a new job today. We've got a nice garden room to do, big garden room, 7 metres by 5 metres. In the last episode, which was on Friday, you saw us finish up at the Harborne job. All the steels are in. There's nothing else we can do now until the glass is in. There's that much glass, we can't board it up and carry on, so we need that glass in. But the customer that we're now going to be working for is fully aware that this job is ongoing, so we're going to start this garden room, and if the glass goes in and we have to leave the garden room and then come back, it's all right. So we'll continue it that way. There's not a lot going to be happening in terms of building, I wouldn't have thought, this week, because we've got to get all the materials there. It's a massive garden, so we need the materials dropped off from various places. I've got a lot of running around to do to get some stuff as well, and then we've got to get it all at the top of the garden in order to give us a good head start for next week. Weather's supposed to be good, so we're going to give it a go then, and yeah, really kick it off next week. So it's just really a lot of time lapsing, a lot of deliveries, running rounds, digging holes, that sort of thing. So we'll see how we get on. And I've just realised that this is my first bit to camera, and I've been very nervous about it, and I've put a lot of thought into it, and I've done my hair for it for whatever reason, which is stupid enough, but I've also put aftershave on. What's all that about? Yeah, nobody's in for me. Right then, let's crack on. Let's go! Oh, fuff. Hello everybody, hope you're well. I just thought that I will walk you from the van to where we're going to be working for the next couple of weeks. We're building a garden room on the back of this, at the back of the garden at this house. Look, it's a big garden and it's a bit of a walk. And here we are, look at that. I'll try and put in the corner of the screen, if I can do it, a little video of the trees that were here that have been taken out. I'll put the details of the tree surgeon who took them out as well, because he's done a great job. And, you know, all the materials have got to be taken all the way up here, so if we forget anything, it's a long walk back. And here we are, lads, just taking the shed down now. We didn't know it was there until the tree surgeon took all the bushes down, all the trees around it. That's got to come out. And we've got a garden room. It's going to be 1 metre in from all three sides, which is going to leave us 7 metres along the back by 4. And on the front of this corner, there's going to be a little 2 by 2 metre stick out for the, which is going to be a shed. The shed might actually be bigger than that internally, and we shall see. And then eventually, there's going to be an extension on the back of this house with a loft conversion. So there's a lot of work here to do. I'll just show you a little picture. It's going to look something like that. It's a bit of a crude drawing, but it's going to be 7 metres along the back, 4 metres, if you can imagine a 7 by 4 metre box, and then on the front of it there's going to be a little 2 metre by 2 metre shed, all combined. So yeah, with a little patio out the front. So this is our first day. They're taking the shed down now. I'm going to load the van, get all the stuff up here, and then we will make a start. That is a long walk.
It is indeed.
So that's the, I'm out of breath. That's the van unloaded. Shed's down. That's what it was. A lot of stuff all dragged out. It's got to clear a bit more space, so I've got to nip off now. Get some more materials, a bit more equipment, and away we go. And there's Mark. Give us a wave, Mark. Hey, there he is. See you in a bit.
Okay, you'll have to excuse the wind. I just wanted to show this with our initial setup. So you've already seen that Ad's done his walk round this morning. He's just gone off now to get some essentials that we need. Augers, marking net pins, etc. So that's where he's gone. Just sort of show our initial then. So we want to try and get this as central as we can. Now, you've already seen on Adam's footage, the fences are all coming in at different angles. The back fence goes off at an angle that way, all that way as well. So all we're doing is now setting up our datum pins. So we put timbers in there. So in effect, our first hole is going to be there. So 300 mil in from this one, 300 mil in from this one. So what Mick's doing now is you're going to get a rough gauge, pull our line through there. You can just see the nice green line there. And we'll try and use this fence as our datum again so we can measure off it. But we think we might have to change that, because the more we come this way, the more when you go square, it's going to go back that way, and that's already kicking in this way. So this is a bit, just initial bit of a jiggery pokery, as they call it, as a technical term is, to make sure we get exactly where we are. But this now is our datum, so everything will pivot from this way. This one will pivot this way, and this one will pivot this way. And while we do that, Mark's just giving us a good clearance for us, get all the stuff under our feet. We have got quite a hard stand in there, which is good and bad, because obviously where we need to put the holes, we're going to have to move stuff, but at least it stops us walking in the mud for now. So I can move each slab where we need the holes, and that'll be good for us to walk on without all the dirt falling in the holes that we dig. And likewise over there where the old shed base was. So I'll stick it on time lapse, we'll crack on with it, and then we'll do another quick discussion in a while. I don't think the slow-mo's worked, but if it hasn't, all we've basically done, as I've already explained, datum pins, green line up to there, pull the metre off the fence there, going to keep that as our square, and then we've now worked out that this one over to there, we put a line on the fence over there because Ad's getting some metal pins, allow us to square off a little bit better and move them if we need to. And I've just used my large square just to line the lines up.
Right then, we're all marked out. These are the dimensions that we've been given, but we think that potentially this design might change a bit. We've had some better ideas. So we've got access down either side as the customers requested, so we've evened it out as best we can. We can't get it slap bang in the middle because of the way that the fence is one. That one kicks right out, or in I should say, as you can see there. So we've squared it off this fence here. That's a metre parallel to the fence all the way up, and that gives us a nice square edge here facing the house, which is all good. 7 metres across the back, which is fine. Again, it's got access around the back, so you better walk all the way around it for maintenance. You've got to clear up the trees, the leaves off the trees, that sort of thing. And this is, ignore this line here, so we'll be coming down 4 metres, well actually we'll be coming down 6 metres, beg your pardon, across 2, into, and then across 5, up 4, and down 7, like that. However, what this has thrown up by marking it all up is we have a lot of dead space at the back. Look at that, which is usable space, but not really with the design that we've got. So what we think we're going to suggest to the customer is that instead of the front being the shed, we could have a shed, a off-the-shelf shed, basically a 6x6. You could even get an 8x6 in this space here, hidden by the house, by the garden room, which you could get access from up this pathway here, and then that there becomes the bathroom with a high level frosted window for light. The customer has requested that we get some natural lighting to the bathroom, and that sort of ticks all the boxes. And what I also think is that this being 4 metres, it seems small when, if we're already coming down 6 metres from here, why don't we bring that out another metre, so then the room is 5 metres wide, or 5 metres deep, sorry, 5 by 7. We think that might be better. So we shall see. So we're not going to do too much today. We're going to dig the holes where we think, where we know won't be moved. If the design changes slightly, these have to stay in. We're not going to do any down here in case we end up doing them twice or filling them back in, which is what we don't want to do. Okay, now it's all marked out. We're going to dig holes every 500 all around the perimeter for now, and then internally we're going to split the difference from the width. That's going to be about every 1100. We're going to have holes every 500 down this way, down there, and then that'll all be supported in 4x3 timber, which we'll show you as we go. Right, to dig the holes we've hired this. Now it's going to go one of 3 ways, I think. It's either going to be brilliant, and we're going to wonder why we didn't ever use one before. It's going to be absolutely rubbish, and it's going to go straight back. What a waste of money.
Because of all the roots and the trees, maybe.
Or option C, it's going to go hilariously wrong.
Yes.
What do we reckon? What do you think? C. C.
Let's be positive.
Mark, what do you think? C. Okay, well we're going to film it. We're going to give it a go. Here we are. Option C. What are we thinking?
There it is running. Here we go then. Yeah. I'm filming. There's no other holes been dug, look. We're not trying to pull it, look. Nothing at all's been done. We're going for it first of all, straight on camera. Ad. Away from me, Ad. Okay, so we should have got option A, shouldn't we? Option A. For now. Option A is the hole number 1. Yeah. And so on and so on.
Probably a bit of concrete in it.
Oh, a bit of concrete in that one because of the shit at the base, yeah. This is where option C comes in.
That kicked off then?
Yeah, that kicked off then, yeah. Did it? It's a clutch. There we go, that's a good safety mechanism, isn't it? So that kicked in. This must be a clutch. We knew it sort of would be, but it looks like as soon as you click it that way, you have to pull it back and reset it again. Very clever. Makes it a lot safer.
Hit you softly, you're alright.
Yeah. It's cut out now, yeah, it has cut out. Very good.
Day 2, garden room build. Lovely day. It's cold, which is nice. We've just had a bit of a meeting with the client. We've talked about what we found yesterday regarding the dimensions. Now it could be a little bit bigger for not much extra cost really. So she's agreed that this line, which is 4 metres from there, is now going to be 5 metres and brought in there. And then the main difference is that she's requested that we make the shed at the back part of the actual structure. Actually, it won't be the shed, it'll be the bathroom. Instead of having a shed there, which was our idea, it's a standard off the shelf shed, so to speak. They're now wanting that as part of the building, which will be the bathroom pushed back. So I'll have a quick word with the architect, make sure that we're good with that, and then we're going to get cracking. Delivery's coming in a second, which is raring to go.
Morning.
Right then.
Just had our timber delivery from Paul at Abbey Direct. We tend to use Paul all the time now because it's a lot more convenient for us to get it delivered straight to the door, and it's all good quality timber as well. So here we are, there's a number for you, direct number. And if Paul wants to turn around so I don't show his face, if he doesn't want me to, I'll show that he's back with his mobile number on. There we go, look.
Beautiful, he was a nice fella. Right, so now it's all off the van, now it's got to go up the garden. That's one. I opted to get the bus back to the drive, and then we've got the rest of the timber back up. Stacks it all nice and neat, air gaps all the way around it. It's got to be all covered up. Basically, we're keeping Richard happy. I then moved on to digging all the holes that were previously marked out, whilst Mark and Rich went round the holes I'd already dug and made them wider and got them down to depth. Right, end of the day. It's been a good one today. All the timber has been delivered and brought up here, which is a job in itself. Stacked very particularly by Mr. Richard Wood. He was in charge of that. All nicely covered. The holes have all been dug. There's just a few of them left just to widen up a little bit, just to take this right amount of concrete that we need. There's 94 holes here, which is potentially a bit overkill, but better to be safe than sorry. It's potentially going to be a gym, this is. I'm not too sure yet, but for all I know, it could have big Smith machines and dumbbells crashing down on the floor, all sorts. So we've gone full belt and braces for it. There's been a slight design change. The customers took our advice, and instead of having it 4 metres, they've brought it out to 5. Which makes perfect sense. 4 was just looks a bit small for what they were trying to achieve. But the main thing is there's now an add-on at the back, which is very similar to what the front's going to be. The front sticks out a metre across to and back in, and then across the front, where this is sort of the same, but it's to fit in with the area that we've got. So it's 2 metres, and then it's out about 1,500, and that's going to be squared across there, and that's where the bathroom's going to go. Which means, by having this little add-on and tucking the bathroom into this far corner, they get a floor space of 5 metres by 4 metres. Yes, that's right, 5 by 4 metres. That is huge. They could do whatever they want with that. And with the shed and the bathroom all down this channel, whatever configuration they want down there. So tomorrow I will be mainly finding materials to get them on site, ready to start concreting hopefully on Monday. So, and then we'll be able to crack on with it. Right, see you tomorrow. First pickup of the day. 1060mm, 3 metre lengths of underground pipe. They're going to be cut and concrete into the ground to form stilts effectively. Right. Second pickup of the day. All the rods that we need. And all the M24 bolts that we need. Right, on to the next one. Quick, how cold does it test? Pretty cold. Right, third stop of the day. Pickup number 3, done. Now finally I can go to work. I got back to the job and the lads helped me unload everything that I just got. I picked up the post hole digger, auger, thingamajig, wherever it is. It's coming on the screen now. I got it from Speedy Hire, drawing being used now. When I take that back, it's been a great little bit of kit actually, and I'll talk a little bit more about it now. Right, quick little word on this. If you're thinking about hiring one, just be careful. If you're doing virgin ground, then you shouldn't have too much of an issue. If you hit anything, roots, bricks, pebbles, it will kick and it will hurt. What I was doing up there, the root layer underneath the ground was obviously all at the same height because it was kicking at exactly the same depth every time. And this thing, which is a safety mechanism, which cuts off the rotation of the blade, when it does kick too far, it hits your leg and it cuts it out. But because it was hitting at the same height every time, it was hitting my shin, and you can see that, at exactly the same spot every single time, and it was hurting. So we took a bit of a gamble with it. It has helped us massively. Could have done with a wider blade, which you can get up to 200mm, but then that just increases the kick, I presume, if you hit something. So yeah, it's a bit of a leap of faith. Don't do it if you know for a fact that you're going to hit something. If you're replacing a fence or something, take an old post out and you're going to hit the old concrete, don't do it. But virgin ground, it might be worth a shot. Stop off 4. Stop 5. If you want decent stuff at a good price, this is the place to come. If you want to smile with it, you're probably better off going elsewhere. Stop 6. With an unscheduled stop 7. Mark just broke his phone, so I've just brought it here to get it fixed. Stop 8. Secret location. Nine. Back here, number 10. And whilst I was doing all that running around, off hiring, going to the lockup, getting some bits of equipment, getting some materials, just trying to make next week as easy as possible, trying to get everything there so we can hit the ground running. Mick, Mark and Rich were going around all the holes, getting them wide enough to take the pipe, getting them down to depth. Again, just all belt and braces, trying to get everything ready for next week. Now behind them, this was happening. The tree fellas, although I don't know why they're called tree fellas, because there was only 2 of them. Classic. They were taking down the rest of that tree, getting rid of all the waste, cutting back all the overhang for the neighbours' trees, basically doing everything that the client asked them to do, and they did a great tidy job. Now next up, Rich is going to explain what we're going to be doing next in order to get our levels. But what I want you to do is listen out for when this tree hits the ground. Mick is going to come out with some grade A solid gold bands. Honestly, it was a laughing in
Okay, so what we're doing now is we've identified which hole we're going to use as our reference hole, if you like, because we've got to put those 6-inch pipes down there because it's lower, as as Adam's already explained. We've identified that that one is the one that we want to use as our hole 0. So I'm going to cut some of that pipe that you can see there, and then set it to the depth of that. And we want to be at ground level with that one, so I'll cut it, drop it to there, so when we do start dipping the laser, we can stick it on top of the pipe rim, so we know we're going to be the same every single time, the same reference. So that's what we're going to do now.
Right then, that's the end of the day, end of the week. Thanks to the efforts of Aquarius tree surgeons, they've got this big tree down for the customer, and they've lopped all the neighbours' trees back as well. That's additional to the trees they took down the other week, beginning of the year. So thanks to them. In fact, I've got their card here somewhere. Let's have a look. Focus. Aquarius trees facing Stourbridge, but they work all over. There's the fella's name, there's his numbers. Any issues, any jobs for him, give him a bell. We've got all the tongue and groove flooring and the roofing sheets, they're all there. This is additional to the timber that arrived yesterday. All the OSB is on top as well, all covered up, ready to go. All the pipes are here to make our stilts effectively. All our metals here to make the shoes, all the rods are here. The method that we're going to use is identical, i.e. we've nicked it basically from Oakwood Garden Rooms. If you look their channel up, he does loads of, Liam I think his name is, loads of tutorials on how to do this kind of piling system for garden rooms. So we've nicked it. So we're not going to do a tutorial on this because you can just go over to his site and his YouTube channel, and he does loads of them and he's brilliant at it. So, and he's far better at explaining things than we'll ever be. So go over to him if you want to see exactly how we're going to do it. We're going to show you what we're doing, but we're not going to explain it really because it's all there for you to see on his channel. It's far better. All our holes are dug. I don't think he would have dug this many, but we've beefed it up basically just because of the size of it. And we're ready to go. There's a massive fall in the ground here, so the from ground level to the floor level at the front is going to be about just over half a metre. So we're going to have to come up with some steps up to it eventually. Although the customer is very keen on trying to level this garden with the ground that's going to come out from the bottom, because all that garden's coming out. So that's going to be a work in progress really of our final levels, garden wise, to the floor level of this structure. What we're going to do, we've come from our highest point here, concreted that in, and then the top of that plastic there will be level with the top of our first nut on all the others, ready for the shoes to go on. It'll all become self-explanatory next week, or hop over to Oakwood Garden Rooms and see what they do. The ground steps up massively here. This is where the patio was, hence the slabs. So what we're going to do, we've come down a couple of metres, started here, and we're going to do everything from this curb down using this as our datum. And then once all those are in, we're going to dig this down, backfill this, and then still keep off the same datum and then redo these. But if we come off this height as it stands, we'll probably be about 700-800 out the ground down there, maybe even higher, so it can't really be done. Now, an obvious way around this little issue would have been to lower the ground from the back down, but there's so much to take out to get it level. If we were to take this as our level and take that ground down, we would undermine all these fencing, would have had to have come out. It's a nightmare basically. So this is a far better way of doing it, especially as the customer is keen to level this garden up the best that we can in the future. So yeah, hasn't been much of a doing week really, although it's been hard work to get all the stuff here and everything, but we've got a good run at it next week. Weather's supposed to be nice, so hopefully we'll get some building done next week. Right, have a good weekend. A massive thank you for still watching. But the pubs are open, you know. Get yourself down there. See you next time.